Hello there and a happy 2011 to you as we welcome you back to the midweek highlight show here at the stadium on Hoohaa.my. After a week's break, we are back and I hope that you had a good holiday time out as well. Before we delve into what the start of the year has in store for us, let's catch up on events before the turn of the year. And there was only one item hogging not only the back pages of newspapers but also the headline news, and it was all about Malaysia's AFF Suzuki Cup win, which also dominated cyberspace in a way never seen in Malaysian sport. Now, after a long time, Malaysian football fans and the men in suits, i.e. the football officials, are in an all-time high after the national squad clinched the coveted title of Asean champions, beating Indonesia 4-2 in the two-legged final. This is the first time we've claimed the trophy. Never before has the nation been buzzing about football in decades, but the win was thoroughly deserved, especially the quality that was displayed by this young team. And it was also down to one master tactician, Coach Rajagopal. There was even a Facebook campaign to get him knighted with a Datuk ship. Double celebration for the team as Malaysia's new number 10 hero Safi Salih picked up the Golden Boot trophy as the tournament's top scorer. But it was a win for the fans. Not just those who came out in droves during the semi-final with Vietnam, but also those who flooded the National Stadium for the first leg final against Indonesia, and the few hundred who braved the elements and headed over to Jakarta for the second leg. Sabas Malaysia, we must only hope for better things to come with this victory, and let not the men in suits ruin a good thing. Let's continue with more football as we look into the aftermath of the Christmas fixtures in the English Premier League. There were about 4 games each team had to endure in a 10-day period. But before the Christmas run, this is how the top of the table looked like. Man United were top and already had a couple of games in hand, followed by Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea and Spurs. Now, this is what the top half of the English League looks like. Both Manchester clubs are tied on points, but the red half have a superior goal advantage and 2 games in hand. Honestly, United haven't been convincing, but they managed to eke out results, leaving them as the only unbeaten side in the league. Both North London clubs, Arsenal and Tottenham, not surprisingly, are at each other's necks, while Chelsea's dismal run continued after that 3-3 draw with Aston Villa on Sunday, which some say could be the result that lost them the title. 3 unusual suspects, Sunderland, Bolton and Stoke, are gunning for that Europa League spot, while after a shock home loss to Wolves, Liverpool picks up all 3 points at home against Bolton, leaving them in 9th, tied on 25 points with Newcastle, Blackpool and Blackburn. There are midweek matches scheduled and things could take a turn once again, especially that Arsenal-Man City matchup, which will certainly give the table a different look before the teams venture for a weekend in the 3rd round of the FA Cup fixtures. Next, we go to Spain as the German Bundesliga is still on the winter break, while the Italian Serie A restarts with midweek matches today. The Spanish Primera Liga got back to action on Sunday as league leaders Barcelona started 2011 the same way they ended 2010, in winning form, even though star player Lionel Messi was rested. Barca had to withstand a stubborn Levante but claimed all 3 points in a 2-1 win and maintained their 2-point advantage over Real Madrid. Madrid, who played away on Monday night, beat high-flying Getafe 3-2. Villarreal picked up a home win and so did Valencia, who beat Espanyol in a tightly contested encounter. Atletico Madrid had to settle for a scoreless draw with Racing Santander, while a 3-0 win over Hercules for Mallorca and a first win in 6 games for Sevilla sees them in 9th and 10th respectively. This weekend, the one to watch will be when 3rd place Villarreal hosts 2nd place Real Madrid. This is the match I believe will distance Madrid further away from the top, as Barca are away at Deportivo La Coruña. Now, briefly to other news. England retained the Ashes for the first time in 24 years and with a match to spare after a comprehensive win in the 4th Test. England and Australia began the series by drawing the Brisbane Test. England then went one up, crushing the host by an innings and 71 runs in Adelaide. Then Australia hit back in Perth, recording a surprise 267-run victory in the 3rd Test. England won the 4th by an innings and 157 runs. Finally, the English won something. Next to the start of the year always signifies the beginning of one of the most grueling races on the planet, the Dakar Rally. Though famous for the Paris-Dakar rally of years past, taking drivers and riders through some of the most volatile places in the African continent, the race is now on its third edition in the South American continent, taking them through Argentina and Chile. With its signature New Year's Day flag-off, the journey will take cars, bikes and quads on a 9,500-kilometer route in northern Argentina and Chile. And after the first 3 days, defending champ in the car category, Spain's Carlos Sainz leads the overall standings. The Dakar, as it's come to be called now, will conclude in Buenos Aires on the 16th of January. You can follow the updates on the website listed below. And with the success of the Malaysian football team, the hockey team, Nicole David, and the Malaysian contingents at the Commonwealth and Asian Games in 2010, Malaysian badminton was rocked on New Year's Day with the resignation of national singles coach Misbun Sidek, whose primary responsibility was coaching and guiding world number 1 Lee Chong-wei. Misbun tendered his resignation effective January 3rd without citing any reasons, but many believe he was unhappy with BAM's revamping of the coaching and training structure 5 months ago, which has undermined his role and responsibilities as the national singles coach. Officials are set to discuss with Misbun, but his resignation came at a crucial time. His blue-eyed boy Chong-wei and other players are set to play in 3 major tournaments this month: the Super Series Masters Final in Taiwan, the Malaysian Open from January 18 till the 23rd, and the Korean Open at the end of the month. And in some reports yesterday, Chong-wei, who was departing to Taiwan, said that he too could walk out of BAM unless they resolve the issue with Misbun. Guess that's why Proton sponsors the BAM, because there's always some kind of saga with the both of them. Well, we'll keep an eye on those developments. But to end this week's show, I would like to leave you with images of men walking on water. Well, it was not Christ and one of his miracles, but it was cheeky of the Qataris as they got the world's number 1 and number 2 in tennis, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, to play on a floating glass court ahead of an exhibition tournament. With thanks to the Al Hilal News Agency, those biblical images wraps it up for this edition. Until next time from the stadium at Hoohaa.my, have a safe and prosperous 2011. Bye for now.